Apostle, Honorable Commissioners from the state, we are privileged to have in our midst this morning the chairman of NEC, whom we all know very well, and who is tasked with the critical responsibilities of taking us through the transition processes to civilian rule in 1992 October. The Honorable Minister has considered it fit that he should be invited to address this August Assembly because one of the major reasons we are gathered today is to ensure information management and dissemination, which will enhance the success of the activities of NEC, especially in their proposed elections that are coming in December. So we have the privilege of listening to Professor Onwusu, who will tell us about the elections, the preparations, and the information dissemination necessary, which we would recommend. He will speak to us for 15 minutes as scheduled, and there will be 15 minutes for you to answer questions, and he would be pleased to answer these questions. So I have the distinct honor to call on Professor Onwusu to kindly address this August body. Thank you, Prof.
For information, the Honorable Commissioners for Information, Director Generals, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I know it is all our wish as Nigerians to have each free election. I know it is our desire. The conduct of free and fair election is a joint venture of all segments of the society. But the electoral body entrusted with the responsibility for planning, organizing, and ensuring that all the logistics for election are in place has a critical role to play. Secondly, you have the generality of the public, the voters, the citizens. The exercise of that right is the highest right in fact any citizen anywhere can exercise, and that's why that right is limited only to citizens and denied to others. Thirdly, you have the politicians who contest the election. The politicians are supposed to conform to all the electoral acts, decrees, and keep, if democracy is to thrive in this country, to all the norms of the election. Finally, you have the media, and that's where you come in, who have to inform the generality of the public accurately about the conduct of the election. It has to disseminate the correct information, has to inform the electorate, it has to publicize the electoral act so that people will know what is allowed by the law and what is not allowed by the law. How have we conducted elections in the past? How has each of these segments of the society played the role? We all are Nigerians, and some have challenged. There have been major criticisms why NEC should resort to open ballot. I think we have to situate it in historical context. How did we fare with 1959 federal government election? That was the election that led us to political independence in 1960. It was contested. How did the politicians fare? They regarded it as a war. And there has been this syndrome that is around us, which the press has to help to eliminate. That I must win. If you don't win, you cause violence. And if you have to win, you have to resort even to electoral malpractices that are not common in many stable democratic political order. Politicians regarded it as a war that must be won, and therefore violated all the electoral rules. And as a result, it required the intervention of the departing colonial Governor General Sir James Robertson to appoint one of the contestants as a winner. And it nearly shook the foundation of our fatherland. Well, that was 59. It is fully documented. Came post 1959 federal government election. Scholars had also analyzed the outcome of that election. Then came the 1964 federal government election. Maybe some of you participated as presiding officers or polling clerks and so on. But I could remember that was almost my final year in the university, 1964. There were two broad national alliances, UPGA and Nigerian National Alliance. So the forces faced each other. Again, it was regarded as a war rather than a contest, a game. What was the role of the press? Well, you should think why. Why is it that always whenever we are planning election, many newspapers, new magazines will spring up. Then after election, they exploited primordial sentiment, ethnic sentiment, religious sentiment, one group against another, 1964. Again, it led to all forms of electoral malpractices in the country. Some printed fake ballot papers, some substituted legitimate ballot boxes with illegitimate ballot boxes. Some men even became pregnant with fake ballot papers, ballot boxes exchanged hands, and so on. So much so was the electoral malpractice that one of the major group contesting for election boycotted at a certain stage. We are no longer interested in this contest. We are tired of this contest. There was electoral malpractice. We will not accept it. He called on all his supporters throughout the federation, withdraw from the election. Well, the electoral body, even though shared by a distinguished Nigerian, Iuesua, who had had a prosperous career as a teacher, was almost helpless, was pleading with Nigerians. No one listened. When you have an umpire, a referee, and you blow the whistle and no one will listen to the whistle, it will not be a fair contest. He was blowing the whistle, no one was listening. And yet many people have the God to bless this one. In any case, it required extra constitutional intervention for the fatherland to be saved. And those who intervened as they are alive, some of them, the first Chief Justice of Immigration, Justice Ademola, if you are in doubt, go and seek private conversation with him. Dr. Nnamdi Azikiwe, it required those who were committed to the fatherland to appeal for the broad-based government. There was broad-based government. I do recollect it was my student union that challenged the legitimacy of that election in the High Court. That was challenged, but through to Nigeria at certain states, even the students who took the action to court turned round and withdrew from the case. And of course, somehow we survived as a nation. Well, I need not go into details, but also what the vices that characterize the Various federal government elections also were characterized the regional elections. That the October 1965 regional election to the Western House of Assembly. As some of the scholars have documented this fully, as one of the major causes that led to the first military intervention in 1966. You may wish to read John Britton, Power and Stability in Nigeria, 1965. The documentation of that election. It was one of the most rigged elections in Nigeria. Are you in doubt? And that's why gradually Nigerians developed a kind of cynicism about ballot boxes. Well, you know already who will win. And sometimes we behave that as if to say we have no history. And we don't have to search for something that will restore confidence into the electoral process if we must have a democratic system of government. In any case, the military intervened in 1966. We know the history. Some will complain, we don't want the military. Military should go back to the ballot. Military, there is a division of function in society. It is the role of the military to defend the society. It is not the role of the military to rule. But it depends on the right of Nigerians, what you make out of governance. So there was this long rule of military. And there was another unique opportunity for the civilians to practice democracy in Nigeria. You also know what happened in 1979. The two-thirds, what constituted two-thirds, the one-third, and so on, ethnic arithmetic. Then came the 1983. Again, I think it's not that Nigeria or the political parties, you know, we had dominant political parties in 1983, just as we had in 1964. Each had support, major support in particular areas of the country. Take NPP, UPN, DRP, NPN, where they all pretended to be national parties of some kind. But when you go to certain regions, one is dominant, and almost all the people in that area can close their eyes and cover all the electoral malpractices, and will not want the opposing party to be seen. In fact, almost every person, the candidates, some part-time electoral staff, some media organizations, they all collaborated in ensuring perfect rigging in many parts of the country. I could recollect, I was just dashing from a national conference in 1983 to vote in one of the elections. When I arrived at the police station, I was told, oh, don't worry, somebody has voted for me. I don't know whether the police did. The police was quite, turned his way one side, was enjoying his beer. I said, somebody has voted for me. Okay. There was one old woman, she was coming with walking stick. Somebody went to her, oh, madam, why are you worried? You need not struggle. We voted for you. Oh, my son, have you done this for me? Yes, thank you, thank you. You may go back. That is dominant party system, where one party has domain. Any other party, almost all the citizens may conspire to say we don't want you, yet we want free and fair election. And that's why in one part of the land, in one state, after that election, majority of people thought that a particular candidate had won as a governor. Oh, and they were about starting to celebrate. Suddenly, a different result was announced. What? Who? What? What? Governor of which state? This state? No. No, what happened? Secret ballot. People had done their perfect rigging. And the people resorted to what? Violence. I think the DG of NTA is here. In the archive, you can show what happened, how many thousands of Nigerians lost their life, how many vehicles that were burnt, how many homes that were burnt. We forgot it. And people are asking, why? We are comparing ourselves with Britain, with the United States. You are violating individual privacy, as if to say we are not facing a historical reality, what has been on the ground for 30 years. People have not practiced democracy in this country. And I stand up to the challenge for any person to tell me that people really have voted as people in Britain, vote as people in the United States, vote. At least you can take a telephone and check all the voters within a particular neighborhood. The addresses will be known. But here, there will be many impersonators. Why should we compare? Yes, the Nigeria of 20th century and Britain or United States or France of 20th century with regard to a simple exercise. Go and cast one paper in a box and no more. Have we been able to conform to this for the past 30 years? We've not. And every election, starting from 59 to 64, to 65, to 79, to 83, each time there was a perfection of electoral malpractices. And each increased with violence, and each threatened at the end of the election the very foundation of our statehood. And that's why, and at the end of the day, people turn around and find a scapegoat who to blame for their whiskey. He may be in the village. He was a high court. He was the chief judge of Benel State, a distinguished legal luminary. All these years. That Army, he made success of everything he had dealt with in his life, but not with the electoral body. That is one. If he was not the best among his equals, he would not have been the secretary of NUT. Well, I don't know my fate. Well, just to tell you why, all this long history, why the open ballot? Ideally, it's not that we don't know. We have, some of us have been in this profession, either teaching in the university for 25 years, have done empirical studies, have analyzed societies, know the problems of societies, and know democratic system is exactly the same all over the world. Take the United States, they don't practice. I'm sure when they inaugurated their constitution in 1789, I'm sure British people and French people thought they were mad. What are these people doing? What kind of federal structure? And internally within the United States, people like John Hancock, they were all troubling. We should all now retire to our various 13 states because we've driven the British away. It required foresighted men like John Hamilton, Jefferson, to make sure that there was a United States. It required the interpretation of Chief Justice Marshall to make sure that all the interpretations were in favor of strong United States. You can now compare United States with the Latin America. So that act of statesmanship, you require a leader who will take the nation ahead, who will analyze the societal problem and try to find a solution. And I think if you have an electoral body should not exist in isolation. It exists in the context of society. Electoral body should study what went wrong in the past, should try to find an alternative solution, at least to compare two things. Why should we have open ballot? I've given a long history. It's not because if people have done their normal citizenship role to go and cast, if people will not bring fake ballot papers. They did it 59, they repeated 64, they printed 79. The people who are shouting free and fair election, they will print and hide. we should be fair and honest to ourselves. They did it in 83. People wanted to win at all costs, even within the party, intra-party. Now, if you don't win, if you say that you've lost, you are not nominated, you take court injunction. Just even to destroy your own party. Because of that, I must win syndrome. People never realize if you lose today, you can win tomorrow. So, we have to search to restore confidence. That's why many Nigerians don't even get to vote. We've studied the voters' turnout in this country. It has never exceeded 40%. Some 30%. All these large states with big populations. People, you are disenfranchising everyone. How many have voted? Some don't even go back to do the analysis. Look at how many have voted. Many have lost confidence because some will tell you, oh, government had intervened. Some even accuse government of Obasanjo's government. Oh, it's pro this party. Oh, it's pro that. If you don't do something, some will say, oh, this administration is pro this party or pro that party. That's one of the virtues of open ballot. Let all Nigerians come out. Let's all come out. Let everyone see so that cattle will not vote, cops will not vote. No, there's no question of tech ballot boxes. You then know the actual Nigerian. It may not be ideal. It may not be ideal. Why do you talk about individual privacy when we don't conform to the norms of that individual privacy? Why should people investigate? Common exercise which we carried out last year, revision of voters register. 12 May to 28 May. Come and check. Others will check in other countries. Do their civic responsibility. You will have volunteers, but not in Nigeria. Because there is a close relationship between the population of the country and the registrable population. And if it is between 48 and 52% of the population, that is the registrable population. But many Nigerians register in 3 or 4 places, including the elites. You register where you are working. Your parents or your brother or your uncle will register in their own village and keep a voter's card. And you know the consequences for the electoral body. Serious consequences. You may think you may have 70 million voters. You may have 50. And if you listen to some of the analysis of Professor Awa about what happened in 1987, about voters cards, and many newspapers are telling us print more voters cards. They don't know the consequences. 87, when they compile a new register, they work out the percentage of registrable population. The population was estimated to be around 100 million, and therefore not more than 56 million should be registered. They printed cards accordingly and gave a margin of 4 million to bring it to 60. Within the first 1 week of the exercise, all the voters' cards disappeared. This is the people writing in newspaper telling about printing, writing, primitivity, you understand, you are paying off, you wouldn't give up. Within 1 week, 60 million cards disappeared. What happened? Many Nigerians regarded it as census. Our number must be high. Everyone. Maybe some of you here have to vote like certificate. Come and register. Even people who were 15 were giving cards. And what people did, they said, oh, that no one followed the rule. You see, my brother is in Enugu, the other one is in Kaduna, the other one is in, give me 10 cards. Give me a t-shirt. Give me 10 cards. Are you laughing me? Are you laughing me? Give me the card. You will not be nice and give me the card. So when newspapers started criticizing, you can see the role of media now. Inadequate preparation by the electoral body. They cannot even give cards. Then what happened? In fact, they printed another 20 million and they disappeared. And then they stopped. Does this tell the story? Who are Nigerian voters? Nigerians have not answered it. Open ballot will help us answer. Who are the voters? Legitimate voters. Some may have 3 or 4 cards. They may only use 1. This is part of the problem. But why the electoral body may be printing 70, 75 million ballot papers when they should print less? So you can see our problems are peculiar to us. And that's why NEC, the composition of NEC, made up of professors, ambassadors, and all that, we carried out a research. And our greatest concern is to restore confidence in the ballot system as a means of choice of leadership. Because many people had lost confidence. Many people had even started feeling this administration. Which of the 2 parties? Is it NRC? Is it SDP? Open ballot says the choice is for Nigeria. It is not for government. Whatever the people decide, government will say it's okay. Why are we against it? Considering our numerous electoral malpractices of the recent past. Or don't we want the military to leave the scene? This is the question. The military said we want to go, but we want to have a stable political order. We want to make sure people conform to the rules. We want to make sure that politicians do not engage in malpractices. We don't want to make sure that the syndrome, winner take all, does not exist. We want to make sure that electoral contest is not regarded as war, as people regard it. We want to make sure it is only those elected by the people that emerge as leaders, whether at local government, state, or national level. That's why we resorted to open ballot. When we restore normalcy, we can go to secret ballot. We do know, yes, in stable democratic political order, where people obey the rule, where people will not try to vote twice, where people will not impersonate, where people will not bring fake ballot papers, where people will not try to bribe their electoral personnel. Some are doing it. Where people will not try to buy up votes, voters' cards. You read it in newspapers. What is the aim of people, politicians, going to buy up, deceiving illiterate people? Bring, oh, where is your card? Let me see. You know, we will change you, we will give you a new card. Take 5 naira. Perhaps they do this with the areas they know that they are weak. They will not win, so that people will not turn around. And at the end of the day, they turn around and blame the electoral body. This is high time we should begin to think. Why are people buying voters' cards? It is an offense that Nigerians should all condemn. All Nigerians, the media organizations. And this is where you come in. And this is where the grassroots information dissemination is very important. So that people will not exploit illiterate people. They will not do this in Britain. Who will say his card in Britain? Who will say his card in Japan? Who will say his card in France? Because the level of social mobilization is high.